right, well, we are in for an absolute treat because this was my favorite race so far of the Cycling Canada series. We had everything going. There was great splits, hard climbs. There are chase groups. We've got an Olympian. We've got lots of great people. I know new friends on the road. This was just by far and away the best experience I've had so far with the Cycling Canada Wednesday night race series. So, what are we doing? We are racing New York in this one. The main event, of course, is the climb in the virtual New York. And so you'll see that's, of course, where a lot of the action is going to be. What's most exciting about this course is that comes a mere 3 kilometers into the race. So we've got a wonderful turnout again for the Wednesday night rides. I think we'll see in a bit, but I think we had about 80 people. There we go, 86 people in B group, which is awesome. Kudos to Cycling Canada for getting that kind of a turnout. And of course, that makes the event really great for a large pack like that. It also means there's a lot of danger about splits. So my plan here, well, like I said, with the 3 kilometer, is that you got to be near the front on this because basically it's going to go off like it is right now from the start. Hammer, hammer, hammer to get out from the start gate. And then essentially we're not going to get a chance to rest before we hit that first climb. So you don't want to be hitting the climb, in 70th position and then have to clamber your way forward. So just point at her out there. She was just showing on the screen Georgia Simmerling. You can see the little pro badge by her name. Georgia is a Canadian legend. She's competed in the Olympics in 3 different disciplines. I believe, the only Canadian who's done such a thing, which is awesome. So great to have Georgia riding along with us, average human beings. And given her time on the Zwift platform, she just recently competed in the World Championships, representing the Canadian women in that race. So, yes, thanks for joining us, Georgia Simmerling. And you'll see she does play in the race here after things develop on the climb. So you're probably seeing some names I've mentioned before. There's Ian Hillis. I saw Kyle Orrick rolling around there. Matt Randall from Bateman's had an incredible race. I think he was the silver. I'd have to go back to Zwift Power to have a look, but was definitely a podium in this race. So congratulations to Matt Randall for an amazing race. And the other name that features and was just popping up right there is Thierry Gertin. And Thierry is a multi-sport athlete from near where I live, just over in the Guelph region, I believe. He rides for LPC out there. And he features quite a bit in my pack as well, as does Lamb there from the United Nations of Cycling. All right, so here we are right into the climb, 78% off the bat. And it's just going to be basically all out here to see how the groups shake down and see who's chasing and what's going to happen. So I was actually feeling good going into this race, better than I had been, because I had missed some events. I had something like 7 years I've been swimming. I had my first earache ever. And so Tuesday I skipped my run Wednesday morning, and so this race was on a Wednesday night. Wednesday morning I skipped my swim. So I was as fresh-eyed as I'd ever been. So, I was hoping for lead pack, or at least a top 20. I was hoping for. So, and here we are, just dragging along. We saw a 10% climb there. It's a bit of a grueling climb either direction that you go because of the multiple pitches. So you do have to be constantly changing gears. Honestly, I would love to recover a little bit on the flats, but if you don't gear to harder gear and step on it a bit, um, you can really lose the group as the pitch levels out. So yeah, it's just all in all the way up this climb. So starting to string out already. Um, I thought I was climbing pretty good. Yeah, here's an example of one of those flat spots where you want to recover. I want to recover, but really you should be smashing it. Yeah, hey, I was feeling pretty good, but these guys are still, they're doing 5, 6 watts per kilogram, all the way up this. So kudos to this front group of just absolute power B riders. So heart rate hanging at 184 to a max of about 192. So I really don't want to go much harder than this. I'm doing just shy of 5 watts, or on 5 watts per kilogram there. Um, yeah, so basically doing all I can at this point. And it's just not quite enough. There's Sunny Chu from United Nation of Cycling as well. Great team concept. I just looked them up the other day, focusing on equity in sport and diversity, and cycling as a sport that brings us all together from around the world and locally from different groups. So I think that's really great, and they got some cool kit too. So kudos to United Nations of Cycling for creating another team venue for people to gather. So I've seen them virtually, and perhaps we'll see some folks out on the roads in the summertime in that UNC kit. So again, another double-digit percentage on the climb. Like I said, this climb is just relentless in that it keeps going, and you get all these different gradients, and you can see through the glass that there are more sections of the climb to come up. So it never gets easy. It's a head game and a strong leg game to get up and over this one. What else did I want to tell you about this? Oh, there's Luke Egowitz having a great race, powering away from me there. For bike choice, yes, I went, of course, light bike. That to me, again, anything that has a medium or more climb, and I would call this a hard climb. I go light bike. It's just you can see it's making and breaking the race right here, and so everything that happens in the flat is nothing compared to. There's Thierry Gertin going by. Nothing compared to what's going to happen on this climb. So that's my bike choice. It's the Specialized Tarmac Pro with the NV 3.4, which is a relatively lightweight with a bit of aero on the wheel. So we're almost over the worst of this. Both directions, there's still a bit of a drag after the finish. So I throw an arrow just to try to find myself up a little bit, because you can see that lead group now. If you look at the mini map in the top there, that lead group is well and away. So goal here is to get together a second pack, and happily, that's what does happen as we start to gather. So I'll just speed us up here for a good portion of the race. But essentially, we do get enough of a group together that we scoop up some folks from that lead pack. This group of, what is this, about 3 riders here, a couple more riders up there, and now we're a great sized second pack. So I just give a little shout out to everyone there and try to encourage everyone to keep together. Now, the lead pack, you'll see. So I was actually thinking, because there's only about 14 of them up ahead of us, I was thinking we may actually gain on that front pack, but they are just motoring. They actually they get away from us on here. So then the other interesting factor, of course, is that third pack. So if you watch behind there, they are really gathering up into something huge. I'd have to chat with someone who was in that pack, but ton of them. And so that was worrisome to me that we might get caught there by these guys behind us, which includes Georgia Simmerling, and I know she was pushing it. James is back there from Techie Kids as well. I know Simmerling was pushing it because she was hitting the best sprint times. I saw her name popping up on the sprint records for this. So she was obviously trying to move that group along significantly, and it was working. I mean, we're not dogging it. Like I'm 170 beats per minute in the kind of 3 point whatevers. And Thierry Gertin, he was really pushing it. Actually, I felt kind of bad for him because he was kind of, yeah, you see there, he's like stretching at the group. Oop, and there I lost everyone for a second and almost got spat. But he was really pushing it and you know, kind of dangling himself out there, inviting someone else to come along and split off or to at least move this group forward. You know, I would have loved to help, but I know that that second climb, so we go back over that same climb in the other direction. That second climb is coming, and it's like there's no way. I just gotta recover this section, and there's no way I'm gonna be pushing off the front of this group or trying for a breakaway or anything like that. It's just you're gonna, if I did that, I would have blown up hard on that second climb. So look at that group behind us. You can tell they're pushing hard because they're stretching out and they're actually splitting some riders off from their little group, but they're also making ground on us. So they're only about 12 seconds back from us, which is worrisome. You know, I mean, we're sitting in like a guaranteed kind of teens position in this race, and if that big group behind catches us, all bets are off. Not that you know I did anything about it particularly in terms of pushing on the front, but but I was definitely worried about how that was going to come together and when that was going to come together. So I just got to slow things down here because the catch was really fascinating. Um, so they're now 8 seconds behind us. They're definitely moving faster, and we're about to hit this climb. And I'm thinking, oh no, they're gonna catch. So this is a short climb into the virtual world before rolling around it and then getting into the longer climb. And so I thought they had us right here, and you can see from the blobs and from the times, like they're 2 seconds, 1 second off us. I see like Domicus was there, and Georgia Simmerling must have like touched our group, but I had the thought, and I suspect that everyone in my group had the same thought, which is if these groups merge together, especially on a climb, there's going to be a secondary split. And so I said, well, I just want to be at the front of my group, as did basically everyone else. And so we all push just to be on the front of this merged group, but we actually prevent the merger. So there's James Eaton like touching our group in our group. I had a little bit of a drop out there. It was poorly timed on this climb. But it ends up that they must have just been like fingernails away from us. I think, and there James, I think just gets unhitched maybe here again. So I think Walker. I didn't check the names close enough, but maybe Walker and Domicus, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, are the ones who got across, and then the rest of the group, because they were chasing so hard to get us, they end up splitting right off at the very second they catch. I've never seen anything like that before. I was convinced that we were all gonna come together. So I'm looking back there to be like, hey, where where'd everyone go? Where'd that third pack go? But they were already blown going into the climb, which is so hard. Um, if our second group hadn't have powered over, then for sure they would have all stayed in. But we all hit the gas to make sure we didn't get caught in a split, and that was all it took to prevent a real merger. So good for mine finish numbers. Unfortunate for group three that works so darn hard. And unfortunately, what happens actually, if you look back on the mini map there, not only did the catch not quite work for most of them, but it ended up blowing their group apart. And so you'll see, I think Simmerling was in a group of like 3 riders. I don't know if James was with her or, in some other group of 2, or like it was just blown to pieces by that kind of catch / drop that all happened at once. Which is great for us, and you'll see it works out for me later on not to have a massive group chasing. But most disappointing for us is that lead group was gone. Like they are gone. Like you can see there's a little split, maybe a couple riders in between us, and then the lead group. The lead group way up there. Man, they're flying. All right, so I'm just going to speed it up until our last climb, where it's all to play for on the final pitch over the virtual section. Again, it's just kind of rolling along now, and I do think we catch the group that's been split out from the lead group. If I can see a name on those riders. Sunny and Brown. Oh no, actually we didn't quite catch them because we hit this climb here, and I think they stayed away from us except for maybe a lead rider or 2 of ours. So second climb, the main event, last chance. Luke and Thierry rolling along side by side, just flying. I felt confident because I was rolling with the group up until now. Yeah, there's Sunny and Brown are stretching it out a little bit on us. So I think they were free and clear. I don't know what you'll see. I get split, and I don't know what happened after that. If there was a later catch, but and like I'm going here at 5.5, and it's like I'm standing still. Look at that, 6.4 by Tucson. Ugh. I was just trying so hard, and they're rolling away from me. Heartbreak. Gartan's rolling me. Brown's still doing 5.0 up in front of us. Psychologist is up in the 5s. And we still got a ways to go on this bugger of a climb. A couple more nasty sections. So yeah, I don't know. I thought I had it with this group. I thought they were the ones, but not this time. Yeah, so once that little group is 3 seconds up there on me ahead, it's like 189 beats per minute, 190 beats per minute, 15% grade. And I'm dropping, so like 4.3 there. Like Dominica's. It's like, yeah, when you can't go anymore, when you can't keep up. So There's no way I'm going to bridge that gap at this point. I am exhausted. So, good news is, a couple riders behind me in touching distance, and one right here in front of me. I believe he does roll away. We'll see in a second. But see, there's another pitch again up ahead there into the final banner. So it's just like, it's such an anaerobic effort, which, not my forte. So I'd love if it was just like a 7% all the way up to the top. But, whoa, 14%, 15%. Dying. And there's even the way that this hill is animated is like with the clear road, you just get this false sense that you've come over the top of it already, but you definitely haven't. It still keeps kind of like going over just a little bit more there. I hang in my head. I'm just broken inside. Anyway, made it over the top. Lost my second pack, which is sad. Ah, well. And then just gonna roll down and recover on the way down and hope that I can pick someone up ahead of me and someone behind me can connect. So I'm looking back already at this point to see, is that third pack going to be a giant chase? And this is where I noticed that Simmerling is with only, it looks like Hillis and Walker and Hannah, so maybe a group of 4. And so Lamb catches up, which is awesome. And Lamb was doing a great job. I was done. I was toast. And he really pushed us here, which is great because there's 5 kilometers left to go. So it became pretty clear that he's still got lots of power left on the flats, and I'm a little bit lighter on the climb. So I would just kind of pull the group up the climb, sit up a bit. Lamb would power on the front, on the flat, doing the lion's share of the work. I'll be honest. I go up over the climb, pull us along, and it was perfect. This was all we needed, was 3 riders working together to keep those 4 riders behind us. And it looks like they've decreased to 3 riders behind us. That's all we needed to at least keep ahead of that group. Now, the sad thing at this point is we're fighting for 20th, a Zwift 20th, and probably Zwift Power like 15th, versus that group ahead of us, the group I was with most of the way to that second climb. They ended up fighting for up to position 5, I think. Vinko and Chu were like 5 and 6. So unfortunately, if I had kept with them, that would be a top 10 opportunity. But instead, we're fighting for the high teens. So action into the final sprint. I know that Lamb is strong. He's been doing a lot of the pulling, but that I was going over the climbs faster than everyone. So I just pushed this climb, this last long drag here. I pushed it a little hard because I know they were letting me lead the climbs, but I was like, if I can not only lead, but I can split them a little bit, that means they're going to have to chase back right here to the 1 kilometer to go, and that's just going to kind of put them out a little bit to go into that final sprint. So that's kind of like my only play at this point when I'm really tired and I don't have a super sprint is can I beat people up a little bit on the hills before the final sprint. So it sort of worked, sort of didn't. As you'll see, I was able to beat 1 rider here. And at this point, because it's such a small group, of course, ideally you don't want to be on the front, but you know, the Zwift is just going to push you around on the road to the side and stuff anyway. So it's hard to guarantee yourself a nice wheel on the Zwift system in a very small group sprint. See, it's like spreading us out. Um, and so it's just going to be kind of wait, and then go. And I think it's a bit of a downhill, which is not ideal for me. Uphill is going to be better. But we're waiting pretty late, which is good. It makes sense for a small group like this. About 150 to go is when I go. Yeah, so there I stand it up. And Domicus just smokes it. Great job. So I ended up, I think I was 16th in Zwift power, which is good out of 80 whatever, and 20th on the Zwift stats. So good race for this time.